deflects and wins. Now Santa Maria will put up a three. Bang! Santa Maria!
Here's Warner. Here comes a headed to jam. Counted for two. The field. Adios! And the Falcons win on a walk-off. And it's saved. What a game. Cortez smacked to the left.
That is gone!
Block for Perez. That's my play. Off the backboard. Counting and a win. And a win. Brian Perez wins the game for the Santa Rosa Warriors, and they go nuts.
Alrighty, welcome back to another broadcast here on Real Sports Live, coming to you from our weekly Myra's Coaches Show from Myra's Sports and More, 6006 Ayers Street here in Corpus Christi, Texas. Another week here, coming to you from Wednesday, April 12th, Big weekend here for baseball and softball coming up, and some big matchups to look out for. We have a great show for you lined up. We'll have Brendan Marshall, athletic director from CCISD. We'll also have John Paul, Centurions baseball and softball in the house. Coach Jay Lemon out of Incarnate Word Academy. Now we'll get you started on some of the scores we had from baseball and softball. We're in baseball. Corpus Christi Ray defeats Corpus Christi Veterans 10-6 to remain undefeated. Corpus Christi Moody and Corpus Christi Carroll. Moody turning a triple play. Very rare you see that. They win that one. We get 2-0 now. Of course, Ray, Vets, Moody, and Carroll, the top four teams in 29-5A. Then we look at the 4As. Alice defeats King 4-0. 26-4A. Sinton defeats Ingleside to remain 3-1. They'll have a date with Corpus Christi London this Thursday afternoon. Corpus Christi West Oso knocks off Corpus Christi Miller, gets a much-needed win to go 2-1. Rockford Fulton defeats San Diego 17-1. And we have London defeating Heavenville 3-1. And over Cal Allen defeats Robstown 31-4A 3-1. And Santa Gertrudis defeats Bishop in a shootout 5-4 on the baseball side. Then we switch gears to the softball side. Corpus Christi Veterans defeats Corpus Christi Moody 15-0. Corpus Christi Middle defeats Vivo Jones. Santa Gertrudis defeats Bishop defeats Santa Gertrudis 8-6. Cal Allen defeats Robstown 15-0. And our last matchup, we had Tolosa Midway defeats Zapata 4-0. Coming back after this, we'll have head coach Jay Lemon from the Incarnate Word Lady Angels softball. After this, you're watching Real Sports Live.
Employment, you decide. Our industry-skilled jobs include industrial, marine industries, oil and gas, commercial construction, and renewable energy. We offer work close to home, so you can spend more time with those you love. Lead Staffing, putting people to work and changing lives daily.
If you want to get in the game, come to Mira Sports and More. Basketball gloves and uniforms too, customized for you. Your family tradition, from generation to generation. From Pee Wee to the MLBs, you can count on us. Your hometown sporting goods store since '76. Mira Sports and More, where kids get cool stuff.
Welcome back here to the Myra's Coaching Show. First guest of the afternoon, Jay Lemon, the head coach of the Incarnate Word Academy Lady Angels. Coach, how you doing this afternoon?
Pretty good. Thank you guys for having me.
And of course, same case as every softball program. We're knee-deep. You can have your hands full.
Oh, that's right.
And you're knee-deep in district. You're doing an outstanding job, 19-2 overall, 9-0 in district.
Yes,
so
sir.
Talk us how the season's been going for y'all so far.
You know, it's been going pretty well so far. We've got a big district. We've got 8 teams in our district, so 16 games we have to play total. But we've done the first round and we came out undefeated, and we're kind of in the midst of getting into the second round, and we're doing pretty well.
Yeah, and TAP, of course, you guys compete in TAP, so it's not your traditional where you play local teams from 5-10 minutes out. Looking at your schedule, you have teams from San Antonio, make trips up to Austin. It's very hectic district schedule.
It is. It's hard on us sometimes. We've got to leave 10:30, 11 o'clock in the middle of the day to go play a 4 o'clock game up in Bernie or up in Hyde Park in Austin. So it's a lot of traveling for us, but we've been able to kind of overcome those obstacles and continue to stay undefeated in district.
Now, last year you guys finished on 13-11, 4-0, 4-4 in district. regional finals appearance. And what was just one major lesson learned, one major takeaway from 2021?
I think the major takeaway from 2021 was that, when you get into the second or third round of the playoffs, the game's a little quicker. And, last year we were sophomore heavy, and we just didn't have the mindset or mentality to be in the playoffs. This is year 4 for me. So year 1, we were like 1-21. Year 2, we were 2. That was COVID year, so we were like 2-12 before we got cut off. Year 3, we went 13-11. Year 4, we're 19-2. And I think we're 3 games away from having the most wins in school history this year. So it's just been a labor of love with those seniors when I first started, just buying into the program, buying into the culture, and just seeing the numbers in softball grow year after year after year. And then with that comes wins, I think. So.
And you mentioned that's the beauty when you were here for 4 years currently.
Yes.
That's the beauty that when you join in, you have a handful of students or team players coming at the same time. You get to mold them out, and it's a work in progress, and it's been an outstanding job so far. Do you tip of the hat to you, Coach?
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think another thing that kind of helps us out at IWA, we're so small. I actually help out with our middle school program, so that I get to see those 6th, 7th, 8th graders mature into 9th, 10th, 11th graders, starters at some point. So I think that's the beauty of being at a small school.
Now, how do you feel the non-district has gone for you? Because I know every coach I can sit here and talk to you, every coach, they're going to tell you the same thing. You give them the tough non-district to prepare them for the tough district road ahead and a possible postseason run. So how do you feel the non-district has worked for you all in your favor? Obviously, it's been working out great.
I think we've done really well in non-district. We played a really tough Rockport team really well. Melissa has a really good job. She does a really good job out there with her Rockport girls. We beat an Ingleside team that was ranked top 10 in the Coastal Bend at one point, and then we lost a close one to Ropsdown 3-0 early in the season. So I think we played some tested teams, and even some of the teams in district that we play, they're good teams. We can hit the ball really well this year, and we're seeing it really well. So I think that really plays into our success as a program.
Now the beauty also of non-district is when you kick off district, it's okay. This is where we are. It's what we need to work on. Going into the district schedule, did you guys feel like you were up to snuff, up to expectation, or a little lower than expectation?
We kind of hit the stride like right after, I think it was our last, we won the Ingleside tournament, and it kind of just gave us some momentum going into district. And I think the girls were like, hey, we can really do this. And so when we hit district play, we really started to kind of mesh and mold really, really well. And so, softball's a long season, and we've had some luxury of having some weeks off. We have a bye week this week, so we've got some, bumps and bruises we're taking care of. And next week we come back with a Tuesday game right after the Easter break with San Antonio, St. Anthony, and then we're going to hit up TMI on Wednesday. So we got a back-to-back game that week. But I think it really, after that Ingleside tournament, we kind of really took off.
And going back to, again, you guys do competing taps, so guys live on the bus a lot of times going
yes.
on up and down road trips. Does it feel like that takes a toll on you and your team in a sense?
It does. Having to leave so early to get to a game, and our baseball team does the same thing, traveling to Brownsville and Laredo. We just go the other way. It takes a toll on the girls because they're doing homework on the bus. They're trying to study for tests on the bus. We're trying to get there with enough warm-up time to be loose and be ready to play a game and compete. It's not like traveling, 5 minutes down the road if you're at Moody or Miller or something like that, just to Cabanis. It's a little different for us.
Hey, but again, it doesn't seem like it's taking much of a toll. 19-2, it's a very impressive run now. So and then now, you already finished off round one of district play. How do you feel that first half went for y'all?
I think it went really well. I think what a lot of people, in my opinion, we've got a really good 1-2 punch. We've got 2 great pitchers, and I think when you have pitching, that's where the game starts. I think at softball at the high school level, we've got a really great 1-2 punch with Monica Carrillo and Ava Alamon, is both juniors in the circle. I think our ERA right now is something ridiculous, like 1.4 ERA combined.
1.4 combined.
Combined. I think Monica's like at a 1.5, Ava's like at a 1.3, or something like that. And then hitting wise in district, we're at a 450. As a team. So, I mean, that when you can do little things like that and your pitching is pretty solid, it really kind of helps you out a little bit.
I'm still blown away. 2 people combined for less than a 2.0 ERA. That's insane. Yeah. Now, who do you feel like on this team? Because you said you came in, had a group of sophomores, and now they've worked their way up towards the senior. Who do you feel like has emerged as one of the key leaders, or who has emerged as key leaders on this squad?
I would say, we've got 3 seniors that right now that play a key role. But I think the really the depth of our team is at our junior level, and I think it starts with our pitchers. I think Ava and Monica play a big role with leading this team, and then with their bats as well. They play a big role. We've got a kid on the team, Mercedes Salinas, has 7 home runs. I think she's one of the top in the area if you look at stats. And then several of our kids are statistical leaders in the Coastal Bend. You know, we get looked past a little bit because we're small, but I think when you look at stats and numbers, our kids are doing just as well as some of these 4 or 5, 5A programs in the area.
Now, obviously, we're going to go back to non-district. What do you feel were the toughest games for you guys in the non-district calendar?
Oh, I think toughest games by far was Rockport Fulton. Like I said, Melissa does a really good job out there. She got a hold of us early, and they have a good program. I think they're leading their district right now. Another team that we won the game 10-1, but it was a tough game. Was a Jim Ned team that we played in the Ingleside tournament from. I think they're from up north. They were a really good team, had a really good pitcher. Rice Consolidated was a really good team. Again, we won the game, but they had a really good, solid pitcher. I thought they played us really well. Robstown, Elizondo does a really good job out of Robstown as well, and he played us pretty well as well. But yeah, I think Rockport by far was one of the best games that kind of pushed us to where we had to figure out who we were after that game.
All right, look at their schedule. They played Fremont. You guys.
Yeah.
It was a big win against Fremont, 22-0. And Odom, that was also a big match, win 4-1. And going back to that, Rice Consolidated, a 3-2 ball game.
Yep.
So again, you said that it's been a tough non-district schedule for y'all. So do you feel like now as we're winding down the home stretch, because you said we have about 4 or 5 games left in the district calendar, do you feel you are ready to go for the postseason?
I feel we are. I think this year we're more battle tested than we were last year. As a younger team, we didn't really know who we were. But this year, going into the playoffs, the girls, they've all bought into the mindset. We want to win a state championship. So, we've got a heavy junior class. We're only losing 3, bringing everybody back next year. We're dropping down a division next year, which is going to be really exciting for us. So we're excited. I think we're ready to go, ready to play.
Now that's also the beauty when you have a young core. Like if you said, you're gonna lose 3, only gonna lose 3.
I'm losing 3.
You get a handful of the bunch. Some teams aren't lucky. I know there's a team when team's Gregory Portland for baseball, they lost 10+ in their senior class.
Yep.
They've been in the complete rebuilding phase, and
Yep.
That's the beauty of having a young group of teams to work with. Again, you've seen them grow, and you mentioned earlier that you get to work with the middle school program.
Yep.
You get to see them, so it's like you have a vast supply coming in and out.
We do. We're losing 3 this year, but our middle school program, I know for a fact, our middle school team is 5-1. I will tell you that, and they're averaging about 10 runs a game.
10 runs a game.
10 runs a game. So
middle schoolers 10 runs a game.
yes,
Wow.
they've done really, and we lost to Rockport.
The girls, the middle schools.
Our middle school team has only losses to Rockport. So I'm trying to beat Melissa over there in Rockport, but we don't. Luckily, we don't have to compete with them because they're way bigger than we are. But no, we've got 3 kids on that middle school team that are going to come up and compete for spots next year. I really feel like so it's just gonna it's really gonna help us moving forward. So there's some good things ahead.
And what's the atmosphere like in games? 'Cause I've been to softball games and you hear chants, you hear them drumsticks, everything. What's it like in the dugout during big home games?
Oh man, we've got the drumsticks, and this year we've got what we call the crew is at IWA. They kind of follow us from game to game, and they're kind of our backbone of cheers and stuff like that. And our families and the IWA community in general, from Coach Steen to the administration, they really back us and really support us in whatever we do. So they're always there when we need them.
You mentioned earlier you guys are dropping down class.
We are.
What is just one thing you're looking forward to in 2023?
In 2023, leveling the playing field a little bit. We are the smallest school right now in 5A TAPS. We have 168 kids, whereas we've got to go play Fort Bend Christian with 350 kids. So we're going to drop down. We're going to be one of the bigger schools, or one of the middle schools in 4A next year. So that's really going to help us out, I think, competition-wise. So.
Now for you IWA fans tuning in, this is the remaining schedule. They have a home game on Tuesday, April 19th against St. Anthony's, and they'll stay on the home stand. They have Bernie Geneva on April 26th.
Yep.
April 29th, another home game. You have 4 straight home games.
Yep.
You have San Antonio PCHS. You have Hyde Park out of Austin. And your last game is the next day, May 3rd, against TMI Episcopal over in San Antonio. So what are just some info for the fans tuning in?
Some info for the fans. Hey, we've got a 4-game stretch. We're at home. We want to pack. I don't know if anybody knows this, but we don't have a field. IWA, we don't have our own field, so we play out in Portland, which are beautiful fields, turf fields out in Portland. But yeah, come out, pack the stands, wear red, be loud, stay late. That's what we always tell them. Yeah, I think those 4 home games, that 4 home stretch is going to be really, really beneficial for us.
Again, Jay Lamonda, head coach of the Incarnate Word Academy Lady Angels, coming on 19-2 overall and 9-0 district. Coach, wish you best of luck on the way through. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
Back more with this after this, guys. You're watching Real Sports Live.
Come on down to Staple Street Meat Market with the best selection of quality meats, beef ribs, Angus beef fajitas, and Staple Street brand sausage, featuring our new authentic family recipe for pony spices. Check out our weekly specials. Your one-stop shop for everything you need for your next barbecue: ice, charcoal, wood, and adult beverages. We are your local football headquarters. Look for our new location coming early 2022 at 7418 South Staple Street. We're a proud advertising partner with Real Sports Live and the Coastal Band and RGV, and supporting all our local sports and athletes. Staple Street Meat Market.
We are the Roy Taylor High School cheerleaders, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Plan your escape. Beach, bay, or both. Sunrises and sunsets daily. Memories made all day. Live music and great food round out your visit. So why wait? SoPadre.com.
Lead has relationships with multiple industry leaders. Whether you're looking for project-based work or long-term employment, you decide. Our industry-skilled jobs include industrial, marine industries, oil and gas, commercial construction, and renewable energy. We offer work close to home, so you can spend more time with those you love. Lead Staffing, putting people to work and changing lives daily.
We are the Clinton High School cheerleaders, and you're watching Real Sports Live. Woo!
Uniforms, etc., you're going to find the opportunity to purchase the best high quality scrubs. Soon after I learned about how the EDC was helping out the community, and so I did meet with Ms. Castillo. She made it very easy, very friendly, and she walked me every step of the way. I couldn't have done it without their help.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day.
The kids are great. The problem is we just don't have the numbers right this year. No freshmen. I came in. We have mostly, I have 8 sophomores, 4 seniors, and 2 juniors, and that's my team that I inherited when I came back to coach.
And guys, this is Ray Heenan over coaching John Paul Snick and Centurions in the softball side. He's been there for 12 years. He was there from 09 to 19, and he came back to take the reins in 2021. So, Coach, obviously, welcome to the show. Thank you for stopping by.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
I know I know here it's baseball, softball country in South Texas, so you guys are knee-deep in district, already knee-deep in the season. Again, thank you for taking some time to come out here.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
So you guys are currently sitting on the season, 17-13, 6-4 in district. How do you feel the season in the sense has gone? Has it gone up to expectation, below expectation?
We started off really strong. We won the Taft tournament. We done well in Ingleside. We beat some 5A teams, and then we had some major injuries to key players, and that's kind of set us back a little bit. We're very competitive if we hit the ball and put defense together. Sometimes we don't put both together, but overall we're doing really fine. That's
the great part of a team. Whenever stars go down, lead stars go down, you always have you look deep into the bench, and always sometimes the bench can come in and surprise you. They can take over as the number one spot, just waiting for their call in a sense.
Yeah, and well, we have some of that, but usually we have the young ones aren't playing slack ball. We have mostly girls who go to school and to junior high and don't play slack ball. So they're kind of, by the time they're juniors, they're pretty good softball players. They've been in the program a couple of years. They turn out to be pretty good softball players.
Now, again, we mentioned you were here from '09 to 2019, and you came back in 2021. What made you want to return back to? Couldn't call it off. Couldn't shake off the love.
Yeah, the athletic director needed a coach, and called me up, and I said, "Hey, if my health hangs in there, I can handle this." So that's what I did. I came back, and I enjoy it. I enjoy being around the kids, around the school, and we're doing fine.
You know, overall, Coach, how long have you been coaching softball?
Oh, about 20-some years.
And as a coach, have you coached any other sports?
Basketball. I was in the Navy. I retired Navy.
Oh, really? Well, thank you for your service.
Appreciate that. So I coached the Old Navy softball team. I've coached the Old Navy basketball team, and I played in the Old Navy softball team. Understand the sport, and I do some pitching on the side.
It's crazy. So great coach and also a veteran. So this guy can do it all.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Now, Coach, okay, now obviously you guys do compete in TAPS. And I was speaking to Coach Aleman earlier. It takes a toll. I bet it takes a toll having to travel from city to city, sometimes 4+ hour bus rides.
Spend all day Saturday going to Austin Hyde Park. Spend an hour and 15 minutes just to get out of Austin Saturday in traffic. And we have next Tuesday, we're going to Austin Brentwood for a evening trip on Tuesday. So that's an all-day evolution. At least 4 hours on both sides and a 3-hour game in between.
Yeah, that's the beauty of TAPS in a sense, where it's not like your conventional UIL where we're gonna play Miller, we'll play Moody, we'll all meet up at Cavaniss, and freaking you guys take very long bus rides. Do you feel that takes a toll on your team in a sense?
Yes, yes, and especially with schools. Schools demanding over there, and to keep them and their schoolwork and everything else going at the same time. It is demanding. It's demanding on the kids because they miss a lot of school time. We got to get them out early. Try to play as much games as we can locally.
Yeah, of course, that no pass, no play rule. I was an athlete myself. I understood that school is very demanding, and it's not easy when you have to.
It's actually a little bit better now than it used to be. And before you couldn't flunk any. Now you can flunk one and still play. So if you flunk 2 years, out for 4 weeks.
Now, obviously, I was speaking also to Coach Aleman that the beauty of the non-district is to test y'all for the tough road in district, because you guys have, again, a very tough road and then a potential playoff push. How do you feel the non-district prepared y'all in a sense? Do you feel like you're up to snuff now? Do you feel like everything's going good so far?
We played in Mira's tournament. We played in Ingleside tournament. We played in TAP tournament. So we play up. That's what I do every year. We used to travel to Laredo, trying to get the Laredo teams, San Antonio teams, the Valley teams. We're willing to go play anybody early in the season. So we compete and we can hit. Our problem seems to be numbers. If you go down, you're kind of we just don't have the replacement players that we would like to have.
Yeah, well, that's like the beauty. You can ask any coach. You can tell any coach standing in this show that they'll all agree with you that that's the whole purpose, to prepare you for the tough playoff road ahead. Obviously, it's been a very tough season for you guys, but you've managed to hold through. Again, you're sitting at 6-4 in district, 17-13. And with the circumstances y'all had, that's some pretty strong record so far.
Oh yes, and we should make the playoffs. Our goal is every year. I've been there. We've made the playoffs, and we've been to 3 state finals. So we usually competitive.
Yeah, well, again, when you're having some tough circumstances, you have a good record that falls back on your coach. Again, coach 10 but 20+ years in coaching experience, military experience, coaching military teams, and you take state tournament appearance too.
Yes.
So what was the last time you guys have gone to the state tournament?
2014.
I think that was your 5th year into the season, correct?
Yes.
So how long do you plan on staying around long for JP2?
I love the game. I love the game. I love to teach the girls. I'd like to see them come back. my players that graduate, and some of them have gone on to college, and I enjoy their company when they come back.
It's like they say, you have fun. You do something you love. You're never gonna work a day in your life.
No, I'm like a little kid.
Now, what made you want to get into coaching?
I love the sport, and really, a lot of the coaches here teach baseball, and softball is a little bit faster when you play it at elite levels, and get these girls ready to go to college. And I mean, they've got to learn in pitching.
It's a whole nother ball game up in the collegiate level.
Absolutely.
And going back to your time in the military, what was like one of your most favorite moments coaching on the All Navy teams?
We won the All Navy. We won the inter service.
Oh, really?
In 1969, we won the inter service.
So talk about your appearances in the state finals. What was that like for you guys?
It was great. The problem is, talking about grades, I had to leave my shortstop, broke her ACL in practice, just playing around, and got caught a foot in the grass. I lost my 2 outfielders to grades, so I went a little less. We lost 1 by 1 in those.
And that's still impressive. That falls back on the coaching staff. No matter what circumstances the team faces, and you lose again, you lost a few key starters, and you went down by 1. That just shows a lot in your coaching philosophy and what you implement into the field.
Yeah, I agree. It's a long season, and you're going to lose players, and hopefully they'll come back. But some don't come back, and we miss a few right now.
Now, this season, who do you feel has emerged as one of the key leaders for the Lady Centurions?
Our pitcher, Brianna Mejas. Very, very fine girl. She's going to Alpine, to South Ross State.
Any other athletes on your team?
We got a good sophomore catcher. The one I lost was Desiree. She killed my team, basically, because I just can't replace her. Spark plug, scores a lot, and I don't have a shortstop. I mean, somebody that can play shortstop at this level.
Now, obviously, also one beauty thing is that you do. How many seniors do you have in your squad graduating this year?
3.
You're in the same
4.
boat.
I'm sorry, 4 seniors.
You're in the same boat as IWA. You have a young class coming in. And what about in the middle school level? Have y'all been pushing into middle school
This
level?
year we have a good middle school class. Our problem is if we can keep them in John Paul, we will be fine next year. With the sophomores, my 7 sophomores and a few freshmen, we'll be young but pretty competitive.
And that's the great thing too about also having that great underclass, because you have time. You've been with them for a while.
Yes.
You have time to build them up and construct something great. Again, we were speaking to Coach Aleman earlier. Said they had a slow start. Now they're sitting up on top of their district, 9-0 on the softball side.
Oh yes.
You guys are in their district, correct?
Yes, they beat us twice. They have a good team.
What are some other things you just look forward to so far here in 2022?
Hopefully we win 2 out of the next 4 to get in the playoffs. That's our goal. And maybe, I think we can win them all. We've lost some tough ones. We left 14 runners on base, lost Saturday 5-3. Probably out-hit the other team by 7. Just we're lacking a little bit of speed in the outfield, and that kind of hurts us. One girl hurt us. She hit two home runs.
And has it been for lots of trying? Can say that's a lot of respect. That goes a lot. And that's a lot of respect to your team, coach. Again, still have a great record, although suffering an unfortunate season. There's some teams who lose their key players and their team goes down. The team has a downward collapse.
Yes.
You guys managed to hold off, and you're on pace to head to the postseason. And just any final thoughts? Any of the John Paul Second Centurion, Lady Centurion fans tuning in?
Hey, hang in there, team. We're gonna get in the playoffs and make some noise. That's what we hope we do. And that's our goal every year, is to get in the playoffs. And sometimes the ball's round that don't always bounce the other team's way. We have a shot.
Now, for anyone who may want to go to a Lady Centurions game, what are some of the next games coming up?
We're playing Monday night. We're playing Hyde Park at John Paul. Then the following Tuesday, I believe it's the 22nd, we're going to Brentwood in Austin. And then on Friday, the 26th, I believe, we're going to St. Anthony's for a doubleheader. Because sometimes what we do, I'm honoring the last coach. They came here for a doubleheader, so we go there for a doubleheader. Save some of that travel time. because most of the teams are in San Antonio, 2 in Austin, 1 in Bernie. I mean, so we're 180 miles. That's basically.
Like Coach Hotline said, you guys practically live on a bus in a sense.
Yeah. Well, we drive it. We go in private cars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it works.
You got more room. You got more room to do what you want then.
Yes.
All right, guys. Ray Heenan, head coach of the John Paul Centurions ladies softball team. Coach, thank you for joining us. Stopping by. Best of luck the way
Okay.
through.
Thanks.
Thank you. Back with more after this.
First pressings, collectibles. How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
We are the Roy Taylor High School cheerleaders, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Plan your escape. Beach, bay, or both. Sunrises and sunsets daily. Memories made all day. Live music and great food round out your visit. So why wait? SoPadre.com.
The Brownsville Independent School District continues to provide a safe environment for enriching education. From pre-K-3 to early college high school, the award-winning district has advanced its legacy in curriculum, athletics, and fine arts. Teachers are driving the frontier of technology, bringing industry to the classroom. On and off the field, Brownsville ISD students engage in the experiences that make them college and career ready. Brownsville Independent School District, the best choice.
The most important moments in a child's life happen.
Third guest here, Ms. Brenda Marshall, the athletic director of Corpus Christi ISD. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thanks for inviting us over here.
Man, as an athletic director, it's a very, very busy time year-round. It's not just football season. Of course, football, the busiest sport here in Texas, but you guys have your handfuls all year long.
Actually, the springtime is probably busier because you got softball, baseball. We just finished up with soccer. We got track and tennis and golf. So actually, we always think that the fall is easier than the springtime when we have so many events going on.
One interesting fact about Ms. Marshall, she's one of 2 female athletic directors in the state of Texas. It's quite an honor to hold.
There's 30 actually. There's 30 females in the state of Texas, just 2 locally.
Oh,
2 locally. But yes, there's actually about 30 female athletic directors in the state of Texas.
Okay, now I see you're wearing a Buccaneers Stadium shirt.
No, that was our 75th anniversary. Actually, I said we've already had the 80th anniversary, and we had the 75th anniversary. So now we'll be working towards the 85th anniversary of Buccaneer Stadium when it was built. If you're a history buff, it was built in 1938 through 41 in WPA projects by President Roosevelt, and so that was how Buck Stadium got built.
Of course, Buck Stadium, one of the more historic stadiums in South Texas for football. It certainly stood the test of time. And it's getting a makeover. We have a new press box coming in for the 2022 season. How are your thoughts on that?
Well, we're, from the original press box is actually the one you see on the east side, and then about early 1990s, they added the west side press box that most people have seen now, and then now we're through the bond, we're able to get a new west side press box, so it'll have two levels, and we'll be able to house several media instead of sometimes rotating whether we can have a football game or radio game. We'll have several rooms to take care of the media, take care of the coaches, take care obviously announcers. And then the upper level will be a VIP room area to take care of any dignitaries that we need to take care of.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the renditions. It's going to look really, really awesome.
It's great. We kind of went around Texas looking at other people's press boxes and trying to fit what we could, at Buck Stadium, so to make sure that everything would, work out well, and everybody here in Corpus be proud of it.
Now, of course, Buccaneers Stadium again, very historic stadium, and let's put the Buccaneers. Talk about the Miller Buccaneers. They're going to be, like, call it the family reunion. They're going up to the 5A next year. They'll be with Ray, Moody, Carol, Vetts. What are just your thoughts on them being bumped back up to 5A?
Well, it's great from the point of view of having all our CCISD schools together. I guess from one point of view, it was nice, and at one time we actually were in a 3A, 4A, and 5A, so it gives us a chance in some ways that gave us a chance for more teams to succeed and be in the playoffs. And so, with us being in our 6 schools plus either Victoria East or West in football, or in the other sports, we'll also have Gregory, Portland, Flower Bluff, and then Victoria East and West. And that, what we want to strive for is to where all our 4 teams always try to take the top 4 spots. And it's great to have, Miller back with us. So then we're able, to control more of the schedules and make sure that everything, works out to where it helps Miller, it helps our CCISD schools, and helps everybody together.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the realignment, not for football, but for baseball and softball and basketball. It's going to be a 10-team district, 29-5A.
And that's, if you remember several years ago, we were in an 11-team district. So what's going to happen with the other sports besides football, they are in a 10-team district, and in softball, baseball, and actually in soccer, because of, most people want to play round robin, you're going to have to either give up, softball and baseball would have to give up a tournament, and soccer actually would have to give up 2 tournaments because you're only limited a certain number of games and tournaments. So what we have already had some meetings, and so what we're going to do with all the sports is they're going to be in zones, north-south zones. So you have to, as per UIL, divide people up by geographic areas. And so we'll be in geographic zones, north and south. Miller and Ray will be with GP, Flower Bluff and East. Miller and Ray will be with GP, and then Victoria East and West, and then the other CCISD schools along Flower Bluff will be in the South Zone.
Now, what are some of the excitement? Is there any some of the talk around the district? Any excitement about Miller, the family being reunited in a sense?
I guess most of that's already been talked about when we had the realignment, come February 1st, that time. And so, like I say, we're excited to get, see Miller back with us so that it's easier on the schedules. And then plus, in the sense that your district games will be more local. So the only thing we have to worry about is some of the non-district games. The good thing with the new football schedule, some of the teams here locally did not play Miller and Veterans, and so we are bringing in El Campo, which is a great powerhouse in football. So fans here, New Brunswick Canyon's coming down with the Sea Vets. So the good thing is we have some teams that are exciting. Like last year we had Waco La Vega come to play Miller, and the fans were really excited about that. So we're excited to have some of the outside teams that are very successful come in to play our schools.
Obviously, you guys, of course, Miller are a team, and talk about basketball. Miller went very deep into the postseason. They had an outstanding job. But going back to your job as one of the athletic director here for CCISD, what was just so you said right now spring is your busiest time. What are just some of the athletic events we have coming in the coming months?
Well, like
on weeks in a sense.
Right now we're in the middle of softball, baseball. Softball will finish up in another week. Baseball finishes the last week of April. The softball playoffs start the first week of May. So we have 2 for sure, possibly a third. Depending on how they finish out in the softball playoffs with veterans and Carroll. And then of course baseball wise, everybody knows South Texas had great baseball, and we had a great game the other night with Ray and Veterans, and we got games tomorrow night with it being an Easter weekend, so we're playing on Thursday night. And we've got Ray High School undefeated in district, Veterans is second, and you've got the mix of the Moody, the Carroll, and all trying to vie for the 3rd and 4th spot. So you have games 2 nights, or for the last 2 weeks we've had triple headers on Saturday. So that's kind of neat that people just come out and hang out at our stadiums all day and get to watch a lot of games.
I better be careful, man, because you're kind of picking your poison since I'm a huge baseball fan. I love to cover a lot of baseball, especially Coastal Bend. And I always bring this up because I know Lee Yeager brought it up in our opening show for the Myers tournament. And he told me, and he's watching, I'm going to say it again, he calls 29-5A Murderer's Row because you have all the powerhouse teams, of course. Ray knocking off Vets 10-6 over on Monday night. But then we talk about the other game on Saturday, Ray versus Carroll. We had Carroll come out to a 6-1 lead, then Ray turned it around, and then the top of the 7th, a home run by Nick Dalavetta, and then inside the park home run by Jack Bell, and that propelled Ray to that big win to remain undefeated. And again, there's a reason why they're stink ranked.
and like I say, Ray has done a great job this year. I was actually at both of those games, and Ray did start off a little slow, but Carroll actually, they were playing a great game, so it wasn't as if, that it was something that Ray was doing wrong. Both pitchers were doing a great job, and then Ray started, hitting the Carroll pitcher, and they started getting hits there at the end. And that's the one thing you could say, like if Yeager, this is one of the hardest districts in Texas from the baseball point of view. And even when we were, we had a few years ago, if you were around here, we also had Cal Allen in our, so we've always had strong with the spring districts, especially in baseball. Every game in baseball counts. Like everybody's vying for the 1 through 4 spots. And on a good night, any team could win, and it can go either way. And that's what's happened in some of the games. And Ray, I can definitely tell you, they have been hitting the ball for these past 3 weeks. They've been doing a great job. That yes, they've gotten behind on a couple, but they have a never say die attitude, and those guys are fighting hard to come back in those games.
Well, I'm from the Rio Grande Valley, so I've been definitely keeping my eye on this 29-5A because when we do broadcasts, I have Game Changer on my phone, so I get notifications to keep up with that stuff. And I say on social media, and it's a foot race between Ray, Vets, Moody, and Carroll, and that's going to be hopefully what decides it. And then we talk about softball. CC Vets is on fire. They got that big 15-0 win against the Moody, and we look at Miller getting a big win over Beeville Jones as well.
Yes, Miller actually, Coach Moffitt Garcia, Jennifer, is doing a great job this year. She had used to coach at Ray. She got into the private sector, and then she wanted to come back to coach. She's actually done a great job of turning around the Miller program. The girls are getting a chance to where they didn't. Some of them used to not have a softball background or didn't play select ball, and so she's having to, go from the ground steps up. And the girls are making great plays. The Beeville game the other night, we were watching that, and they had some great hits, made some great defensive plays, and so they're going to be in the hunt to where they can make the playoffs in the 4A.
Oh, and then one more team we got to look out for, the forgotten one in a sense from 33, the London Pirates, a team who went to the state final last year and just came up shy in one game, and they've been on a tear in 2022, and they're on pace to going back to Round Rock this year.
They, we've seen them some, whether they played some of our teams in non-district, and so we've actually, in the various sports, great games against them. We've seen them in soccer. We've seen them, sometimes they're actually using our stadium to rent out. And so they've done a great job over at London. We know some of the coaches over there, and some of them, they've done a great job.
Now, of course, 2021, 2022 has been a great school year in athletic-wise, but all good things must come to an end. But what are just some things to look forward to in 2022, 2023?
Well, hopefully now we won't have any COVID restrictions, knock on wood. And so obviously we've already opened up our stadiums, but we're hoping to where, we did have some restrictions of the travel and things that we were hoping to do. So we're hoping that we'll be able to go back to where our team sports can go to 2 overnights and go to the tournaments that, we had to cut out some tournaments. We also, within CCISD, normally CCISD hosts a lot of tournaments, which is varsity and sub-varsity. So we're hoping to go back to hosting the sub-varsity tournaments that we used to host. So some of the things would be the logistics of and the opportunities to where that we'll be hosting things here to where we don't have to say travel, or they stayed within a 50-mile or 60-mile radius and for different sports.
Yeah, I remember when in 2020 when we were barely sneaking out of that lockdown, it was an unusual sight. Of course, obviously here at Cabinets Field at Buccaneer Stadium, it's a very jam-packed place on a Friday night, and to see that just shift away. And in 2021, we saw that return in a sense, and now we're on pace to going back to a full normal in 2022, and it's just very exciting. And to any CCISD sport fans tuning in, anything you'd like to say?
Oh, we just appreciate y'all being a part of CCISD. We appreciate y'all's support. We obviously want y'all at our games, to help, buy food at the concessions and just be there, the camaraderie and plus the game atmosphere. Tuesday night, I apologize again, Monday night when the Ray Vets game was, we saw the packed house that we used to see at all our baseball games. So people are starting to come back out here at the end of the season, and we're getting the packed houses to come watch the games. A lot of people that are at the games, they're not either actually for either team. They're just there to watch great baseball.
Of course, 29-5A is going to be, I've said it before and I said it again, I think it's the best district for Texas High School baseball. Guys, Ms. Brenda Marshall, the CCISD Athletic Director, man, thank you for your time.
Oh, thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it. Thank
Back
you.
more after this, guys. You're watching Real Sports Live.
Having a strong early childhood education enhances their future and success. That's why we are opening the Harlingen CISD Early Childhood Academy for pre-K students. At HCISD, we provide these opportunities for our youngest learners to foster their imagination and let their curiosity run while they develop their love for learning. These are the early steps to success, and Harlingen CISD is with them every step of the way.
Sherryland ISD, a nationally recognized district focusing on quality and rigorous instruction where every child is immersed in a culture of academic success. A district dedicated to preparing our youth for the future. Our mission is to inspire, educate, and empower all students to reach their full potential and become leaders of the highest moral character. Sherryland ISD, excellence is our tradition.
If you wanna get in the game, come to Mira Sports and More. Basketball gloves and uniforms too, customized for you. Your family tradition, from generation to generation. From Pee Wee to the MLBs, you can count on us. Your hometown sporting goods store since '76. Mira Sports and More, where kids get cool stuff.
Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles, located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, is filled with vintage items, collectibles, and a selection of vinyl records that's as good as it gets. Every shelf, every aisle, and table is filled daily by a number of vendors that ensures that something here just might be the item you have to have. The vinyl record area helps bring an added atmosphere that makes for the fun trip when stepping back in time with the memories. Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles in San Benito.
When excellence in academics meets discovery on the court, in the arts, with institutions of higher education and beyond, we are the future leaders, and our success starts now. La Villa ISD, Cardinal Pride.
LEAD has relationships with multiple industry leaders. Whether you're looking for project-based work or long-term employment, you decide. Our industry-skilled jobs include industrial, marine industries, oil and gas, commercial construction, and renewable energy. We offer work close to home, so you can spend more time with those you love. LEAD Staffing, putting people to work and changing lives daily.
If you wanna get in the game, come to Mira Sports and More. Basketball gloves and uniforms too, customized for you. Your family tradition, from generation to generation. From Pee Wee to the MLBs, you can count on us. Your hometown sporting goods store since '76. Mira Sports and More, where kids get cool stuff.
Come on down to Staple Street Meat Market with the best selection of quality meats, beef ribs, Angus beef fajitas, and Staple Street brand sausage, featuring our new authentic family recipe for pony spices. Check out our weekly specials. Your one-stop shop for everything you need for your next barbecue: ice, charcoal, wood, and adult beverages. We are your local football headquarters. Look for our new location coming early 2022 at 7418 South Staple Street. We're a proud advertising partner with Real Sports Live and the Coastal Bend and RGV, and supporting all our local sports and athletes. Staple Street Meat Market.
Here to Real Sports Live, our final guest, Coach Corey Haywood, will be coaching the Coastal Bend boys and girls for our South Texas Area Regional Showcase on South Padre Island, April 22nd to 24th. Coach, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Of course, you got your hands full because you know not only coaching one team, you're coaching two teams. So
Yeah, I'm excited, man, to get a look at both the boys and girls. Get to check out some prospects here that we have in the Coastal Bend area.
of course, you're also at a complex located here in Corpus.
Yes,
it's a
sir.
basketball training facility. Tell us a little more about that. How that came to be.
Well, me and my close friend Marcus Ellison, we played AAU together, and we went separate ways after high school. Played college, different colleges and stuff like that. But we always wanted to give back to our community. And coming from here, it was hard for us to get to college. So we know the grind and the struggle that we put in to get there. So we just want to make the path easier for the high school athletes. So we came together and we were just trying to put something together for training. And I handled the recruiting, so I'm talking with college coaches and trying to get them scholarships. So our goal is just to help and give back, something we didn't have that we wish we had when we was growing up.
That's also the beauty of things. You also tip of the hat for you.
Yes,
for
sir.
able to do things like that. And then a little more about Culture Complex. So you just said how it came out to be. How long have y'all been open for?
Well, we started like in the middle of the pandemic. So we really only been open since the school year. I mean, we started in the summertime, but just getting started as a business, we were putting everything pretty much ourselves in there as far as the goals, the floors, all the equipment. So we really only been operating for a couple months now, like I said, since the school year started. So, but officially we've been in there like a year, but just getting everything started, everything in there.
And for those of you who have stay tuned, we do have the South Texas Area Regional Showcase, April 22nd to the 4th. Again, Coach Haywood will be at the helm for the Coastal Bend All-Stars. And we'll get you the roster here for the boys. Out of Bishop, we'll have Donnie Thomas. Out of Santa Gertrudis, Caden McClure. Josh Post is out of Corpus Christi Miller. Pete Herrick out of Corpus Christi Flower Bluff. AJ Lopez out of West Oso. Aiden Gett out of CC Veterans Memorial. Jordan Hurd also out of Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial. Out of H&M King, Nate Garcia and Ty Dominguez. And then two more Miller Buccaneers, Malachi Wynn and Mark Garcia. And then over for Bishop, Ray De La Garza. And out of West Oso, Donovan Landry and then Reagan Eric Velvin on the boys' side out of Aransas Pass. Over for the girls' side, we'll switch gears. We have Kara Davis out of Beeville Jones. Mariela Gonzalez out of Skidmore Tinian. Janelle Lopez out of Taft. Esmeralda Hill out of Miller. Harley Gillespie out of Flower Bluff. Myra Gonzalez out of Aransas Pass. Kiara Fuentes out of H&M King. Jacelyn Villarreal out of H&M King. Marisa Costa out of Aransas Pass. Tylea Bass out of Sinton. Daniel Lee Cedillo out of Tolosa Midway. And rounding it up, Gabrielle Arizmendi out of Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial. So a lot of talent on both teams. Again, you certainly have your hands full heading to the showcase.
Yeah, for sure. There's a couple kids who already come to our complex, so I'm kind of familiar with some of them, like Donnie. Donnie's a kid that comes and trains with Coach Marcus. I had the opportunity to coach Nate from Kingsville at another All-Star game like 2 weeks ago, and that kid can play. There's a couple girls too. The girl from Skidmore, I know she works out with another trainer here, and I've seen film on her. So there's a good amount of talent here. So I'm looking forward to working with them.
Of course, the showcase will be over at South Padre Island in the Rio Grande Valley, so you guys, it'll be an away game for you guys in a sense, but it's going to be a packed crowd at the convention center. What are just your thoughts on facing some of the Valley's best and some of the Laredo area's best?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing, the different competition, bringing the best out of the kids that I have, spacing the floor. A lot of the kids here can shoot, so, getting transition points, and I'm looking forward to defense too. I know there's a couple kids who like to get down and lock up, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
What made you also, of course, you decided you wanted to give back to your community, but what also made you want to take over as head coach for the Coastal Bend teams?
Well, when I started a little AAU program, so coaching and helping that way. And then, like I said, I coached in the All-Star game a couple weeks ago, and Joe asked me to coach in the All-Star game, or if I wanted to coach in the All-Star game. I looked at it as an opportunity, to grow as a coach and give back, and as somebody that can just be an influencer for my community. Me playing college basketball, just given the knowledge I had, I thought it would be great, because if I had something or someone like that, where I would be. So I just thought it would be a good opportunity to help the younger generation.
And you actually leads me to the next question. You coached over at the Coastal Bend All-Star game. What was that like? What was the experience like for you?
That was pretty good. The kids there were excited. The crowd was into it. And I thought overall it was just a good experience, because I see kids just having fun. Some of them graduating already or about to graduate, so this was kind of like their last run at it. And just enjoying it, just seeing how much fun they had, the joy that I bring or that I get out of basketball. That was what it was for me. So just having them just run and play and put on a show, a great game. That's all that meant to me, was just having fun with it.
Now, also from a coaching standpoint, what were just some major lessons learned for you?
As far as All-Star game?
Yeah. Just coaching in general.
Well, I went into it with no plays, so this time, I just let them run. But then we were down like 15. I was like, no, I don't like this. Coach Marcus was coaching the other game, or the other team, so he was talking mess. So I was like, no, I don't like that. So I had to call a timeout, make some adjustments and stuff like that. So just being prepared and just running some sets, getting guys or players in position where I know they can succeed in, where they're good at scoring, and just spacing the floor and making sure that everybody can play their role.
Now, and you mentioned your playing days. You're a Moody Trojan.
Yes, sir.
Well, just some of your time playing at Moody. What were just some of the things you learned there as a player?
I learned hard work for sure. I learned that you can't take any days off. It was challenging because I never made playoffs, but I know that my skill set was up there with the guys that I graduated with. So it was just being consistent with it, putting up the numbers I could, and if I could, or if I had the opportunity to, I would do a little different, which was make sure that I try to get my team to playoffs. So. But there's a lot of good teams here in CCISD, so I can't just say like it was an easy road. So, we had a lot of good schools in our district, and it was just being patient for my time, and the opportunity came to play college. So it was success with that. But I really wish I could have made playoffs. So.
And of course, you mentioned this district of Corpus Christi, a hotbed for basketball too. Everyone says, "Oh, it's a baseball city." No, it's a basketball city too. We had CC Vets, Flower Bluff. We also had Miller, who had that deep run in the postseason.
Yes, sir.
And you're familiar with Coach Bastian over there. What was your thoughts on Miller's exceptional season this year?
Coach Bastian is a great coach. He was coaching there when I was in high school. And if I had the opportunity, I think I would have wanted to play for Coach Bastian, because he's just a player's coach. So having a coach that believes in his players and, who knows the basketball as far as mindset, I think that's, why they have the deep success run, is because, he puts guys in position to do their best and to, score, or if they have a good defender, putting them on the best players. So I think Coach Bastian does well as far as putting guys in position to succeed.
Now again, in you leading Coach Complex, what are just some information you have for anyone looking to get some more basketball training, some more reps in on the off season?
Well, if guys or girls want to get training in. That's actually with Coach Marcus Ellison. And he's a great guy as far as training and get the best out of his players. He actually played for Texas A&M Corpus Christi before he transferred, so he knows high-level basketball. His knowledge is I can't even explain it. His knowledge for the game, his skill set. He works out with the kids too. You know, he doesn't just tell them what to do. He puts them through drills and he actually shows them. So, you know, if they're really serious about getting the time in and putting the work in, I feel like they need to reach out to Coach Marcus Ellison because he can, you know, help them succeed. And if they're interested or really trying to pursue going to college, then you know, come talk to me because I'm the recruiter and I try to, you know, get players the opportunity or talk to coaches and, you know, help them get to the right school that fits for them.
Will Coach Marcus Ellison also be a part of the coaching staff for the Coastal Bend team?
I'm trying to get him down there with me, so I know he's pretty busy with training and stuff like that. You know, he's pretty booked, so I'm trying to get him down there just so we can, you know, have two mindsets down there and have two individuals who know the game, so he can see it from a different perspective. You know, if I don't see something or vice versa, so I'm definitely trying to get him down there.
Again, credit to you. It's when you're picked to be an all-star coach for one team that has a lot of talent, that's one thing. But when you have to deal with two teams, that goes, I'd say, a lot about yourself, sir. Again, Mr. Corey Haywood here at the Cultural Complex, 1918 South Padre Drive in Corpus Christi, Texas. Give him a call at 361-442-9181 if you want to get some more reps in the off-season and prepare yourself for playing basketball at the next level again. Culture Complex, 1918 South Padre Island Drive, Corpus Christi, Texas, 361-442-9181. Any final thoughts, Coach Haywood?
I'm really just excited for the kids. I wish we had something like this. I mean, we have the Coastal Bend, but to have something, you know, that they're live stream, and I heard there's going to be a lot of college coaches out there too as well. So if we had something like that, who knows? But I'm excited for the kids, and I just tell them just to keep working hard and never stop believing. If that's something you're really passionate about and want to pursue, then go for it, you know. Don't stop and just give it your all. So I'm excited for them.
And Corey Haywood at the Culture Complex will be leading the boys and girls Coastal Bend All-Stars for the South Texas Area Regional Showcase. Coach, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Wish you best of luck. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Back more after this.
Go cheerleaders, and you're watching Real Sports Live!
Plan your escape. Beach, bay, or both. Sunrises and sunsets daily. Memories made all day. Live music and great food round out your visit. So why wait? SoPadre.com.
Back here at Real Sports Live, of course. All good things was coming down. We had a great show. We started off with head coach Jay Limana of Incarnate Word Academy. We had Ray Heaton, the head coach for the John Paul Second Lady Centurion softball team. We also had Brenda Marshall of CCIZ, the athletic director, talking about some exciting things, discussing Miller returning to 5A level with the rest of the Corpus schools. Again, the family back for one more run. Now we just had Coach Corey Haywood here. Will be leading the Coastal Bend All-Stars in our South Texas Area Regional Showcase. If you have any interest in that, it's going to be April 22nd to the 24th, the awards banquet, 7 p.m. on April 22nd. Games will be all day, kicking off the 23rd and the 24th. We'll also have a three-point shootout, slam dunk contest again. South Texas Area Regional Showcase at South Padre Island, April 22nd to the 24th. That's going to do it for us here for another broadcast from the Myers Coaches Show, April 12th, 2022. From Mr. Joe Bowling versus Rudy Zamaripa in the back, I'm Ruben Rodriguez saying so long and good night from Myers Sports and More. Again, Myers Sports and More located here at 6006 Ayers Street in Corpus Christi, Texas. As always, be safe, good night, and God bless. Thank you for tuning in. This has been another Real Sports Live production.